The largest fan group of Russian champions Zenit St. Petersburg have demanded the club refrain from buying black and gay players following turmoil surrounding the acquisition of Brazil star Hulk. And this is what Napswagger was referring to earlier. This is from today, Monday, 17th of December 2012. We're not racist, but we see the absence of black players at Zenit as an important tradition. Zenit fan club Lance Skroner said in a letter called the Selection 12 Manifesto posted on its website. It would allow Zenit to maintain the national identity of the club, which is the symbol of St. Petersburg. Zenit have been the only top club in Russia to have never signed an African player, while the northern city of St. Petersburg is known to have a strong right-wing nationalist influence. The fans said they want more homegrown or European players in the team. We only want players. We only want players from other brotherly Slav nations, such as Ukraine and Belarus, as well as from the Baltic states and Scandinavia. We have the same mentality and historical and cultural background as these nations, the letter said. They also expressed their opposition to having sexual minorities in the team and demanded that each player would give 101% effort in every match. Several prominent black players have turned down lucrative offers from the wealthy club over the past 12 months after receiving death threats from Zenit fans, local media reported. A Zenit spokesman on Monday said the club would not comment on the fans' letter. Former Zenit and Russia striker Alexander Panov said the fans have no right to influence the club's selection policy. If we don't have enough good players from St. Petersburg, then what should the club do? The St. Petersburg native was quoted as saying by local media. All clubs around the world have black players. If they are absent from Zenit, it's Zenit's problem. I don't think any fans should demand the club buy or don't buy certain players. The fans have a right to go to the stadium or stay home. Now, you know what? Yeah. I mean, Umbreen has said you can't quantify racism. There needs to be one strict rule about it: intolerance to any kind of racism. But fans of Zenit being opposed to black and gay players, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Like I always say, there's always a moronic minority. Every single club has them. And to you Zenit fans who don't want black or gay players or anyone from sexual minorities in your team, you people are absolute disgraces. You people are what holds back the progression of a nation such as Russia. You are the kind of disgraceful people that hold back the progression of this world. You are the kind of ignorant morons that I personally hate. That I hate with a passion. And yeah, hate's a strong word, and I don't give a damn. There's always a moronic minority, but you've just overstepped that boundary. You got over here, we got the moronic minorities throwing coins and doing monkey chants. But you have taken it one step further. You don't want black players. You don't want players from sexual minorities in your team. You know what? Screw it. You know what? I really hope the footballing authorities take heed and take notice of what you've said. Because at the end of the day, I hope Zenit St. Petersburg, the club, come out and say, you know what, we don't agree with this. Because if Zenit St. Petersburg, the club, don't, it's one of them ones, you're going to be losing a lot more fans. And at the end of the day, that is a legitimate disgrace. For a fans union, again, you're representing your club. The club you're supposed to love, you're representing them, and you ain't doing a good job of it. If you are coming out with those narrow-minded, moronic, antiquated views, then you're a disgrace not only to yourselves, your club, but you're a disgrace to football and humanity itself. And you know what, Gman? That's all I've got to say about that. What do you feel about this?
No, you know what? It's probably stealing one of the lines of Jesse Fizzle, but that's an issue that is really bigger than football, because at the end of the day, that's a part of a country that think minded like that, and you know that's an actual a mind state of a particular set of people, and
yeah. It's a Zenit fans club.
It beggars belief. What if that is spreading or spreadable? Yeah. What could potentially happen in the future in the game? Is it sliding backwards?
Well, they've got European championships going on soon, And that's even more concerning. That is one thing that's really concerning. If you've got members of the far right who are willing to come out in public and put it on a website and say this, then the powers that be in football have to be looking very closely at this and either making sure that none of, I think it's the 2020 European Championships, you got to make sure that none of that goes there to that area.
Sure, strip it from them.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I mean, Ted Winner said, shocking, mate. Someone needs to stand up for once and take a stand. What are the governing bodies of football going to do? Jack, I should think. And it's true.
Yeah, it's money, isn't it?
Mate, it's a disgrace. It is legitimately a disgrace. I mean, does anyone else want to jump in on the Serbia issue and also on the Zenit fans club saying they don't want black or players from sexual minorities in their team? All right. Quite surprised no one wants to jump in on that, actually. Have we got anything on the social networks? Because what was Napswagger's comment, by the way? Because that was quite an interesting one.
Well, yeah, going back to what Napswagger was saying, he was just saying, do you want your club hosting Zenit St Petersburg in the UEFA competition, knowing their fans hate black and gays? Well, that's
a great point.
You just said it there. They're actually going to have a competition themselves. So
yeah. It's one of them. I wouldn't want to be playing against them, knowing what a minority of their fans are like. I wouldn't want to play in that sort of atmosphere. I mean, just like with the Serbia under-21 thing, where the FA were like, you know what, we got to think very seriously about whether we take our players over there again. So it's a serious issue. It truly is a serious issue. I mean, Mike Harniman, you've been vocal in the chat. Would you like to articulate your point? Mike?
Yeah, which one was that? Sorry, was that the last one, or was that which one?
Yeah, about Zenit.
Yeah, I don't know how they can say that when some of the best players around are actually black or, of that sort of race anyway. That's really gonna wind up the fans, and it's gonna just cause more trouble.
But it's one of them ones. That club, that Zenit fan club, Landskrona. It basically makes them look so narrow-minded and ignorant and moronic. It's untrue.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that reflects, obviously, because they're a fan club of Zenit St Petersburg, it makes the club look bad as well.
Yeah.
It really does. It really, really makes the club look really bad. And the club haven't said anything. They ain't said anything about it.
I'm surprised there's not been a statement from the club or anything like that.
Yeah. But it's a disgrace. I mean, Umbreen, you said something that's actually quite interesting in the Skype chat. Would you like to articulate that for the people?
Yeah, I was just contemplating. This kind of sentiment really does seem to surface when there is economic decline. It really is, like you said, it is a minority, and it really is about having a scapegoat or just kind of expressing disdain about not having money or going through a hard time, and just literally having a scapegoat. But the good thing about this is that it is, I saw the story that you're talking about on the Telegraph online. It was on the front page and it's right at the top. So it is reaching a lot of people. It is getting massive press coverage.
Yeah.
So I think it will be quelled, or not quelled. I think it will receive the correct type of media coverage. It's exactly what you've been expressing. I think that's why a lot of people didn't have to jump in, because you articulated it so well for us. But I think it will get the correct coverage now. I think it will be, they will get that,
Well, I'm personally hoping that Zenit St Petersburg come out and completely denounce this fan club, because if they don't, they will be seen to be almost indirectly supporting them. So it's a major concern when you've got huge fan club groups coming out and saying this stuff. Ted Wynn brings up an interesting point as well. I don't know why we keep debating it, because nothing changes until our ruling bodies are run by real people with real care for our beautiful game. If the club cared, surely they'd come out and chastise them. So, it's such a screwed issue. It really is. It's screwed. When we saw this earlier, because this only came out today, so it was fortunate that it kind of made it into the show order, but I'm glad it did, because at the end of the day, it's just a disgrace. It's a disgrace, and my fear is that if there's a minority in Russia that think like this, where else are there minorities that think like this? And also, are there more people who think like that as well? Because you look at over here, we're far from perfect over here. We got UKIP on the rise. We got the BNP with a lot of supporters. So it's a concern. And your point, Umbreen, about this sort of stuff seems to surface with a vengeance during times of economic decline and everyone looking for a scapegoat. It's even worse. Because you look at, and I'm not pretending to be a historian, but at the end of the day, you look at World War II. You look at how those 6 million Jews were gassed. Part of that was down to Germany going through economic turmoil after the whole Treaty of Versailles, and their country basically being raped one way and down the other financially, and Hitler used that to whip the country into a frenzy and basically get everyone on board to what he was saying. So at the end of the day, what you said about this kind of far right sentiment seems to surface during times of economic decline couldn't be more true, couldn't be more close to the truth. And the fear is, my personal fear is that, there seems to be a lot of morons in this world. You look at everyone who watches X Factor and moans about it being fixed, but still watches it and phones in, knowing that it's more fixed than pro wrestling. It's one of them ones. Like I say with the X Factor, or the crap factor as I call it, no fans, no show. With a revolution, if you've got no people, you ain't got no revolution. Similar to us here at Pitch Talk. We might not have the greatest amount of followers. We are trying to create a revolution, and obviously we need help creating that revolution, whether it be Facebooking, telling a friend to tell a friend, tweeting, retweeting, and all that kind of stuff. You need help to create a revolution. And economic unrest or turmoil might trigger a revolution, and not a positive one either. So, that's always my worry. Ted Winner said again via Facebook, there's evil all over the place. The good needs to stand together against these people and say, we don't accept it, it's wrong, and we aren't going to stand for this. This is what we're going to do. But we need someone high up to man up and take the fight to them. And there it is. If you've got someone with stroke in a position of power who is willing to put their neck on the line, then you might have something happen. You might have something concrete happen. But until then, as Ted Wynn said, it just might not happen. And it's scary. It is worrying. It is very worrying. So, I don't know, man. UEFA need to really need to take a stand on this.